She a SheEO. Yeah. Talk sweet, but she run the show. She a SheEO. She a SheEO.
Welcome to SheEO Elevate and Execute. I am Coach Honie Bee, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing this powerhouse of a woman. I have seen her over the years from a distance. I've admired her. Her name is Leola Coleman. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. I am so excited to have you here. I have seen you work over the years and watched you evolve, watched your place evolve. So I'm not going to give it away. You tell me who you are and what you do.
Yes. So I'm Leola Coleman, born and raised in Pompano Beach, Florida. I migrated here in 1987 to attend Edward Waters College. It was Edward Waters College at the time. It's university now. And stayed here for quite a while. And I went away, traveled overseas, and some way I made my way back to Jacksonville and just ended up in the food industry pretty much. I did a whole lot of things before that, but the ultimate things was when I ended up at the Blu Diner.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about the Blu Diner.
Oh, wow, the Blu Diner. Well, I think I incorporated the Blu Diner in 2009. And actually, I was doing something else. As a matter of fact, an office not too far from here, I had a business, and I was approached by Mr. Knight, and he was like, he needed some help with a restaurant that he had. And I actually was just like, no, I don't think I'm in the restaurants. I want to be cute, wear my makeup and my lashes, and put my business suit on and show up at my office.
Right.
And one day I just stumbled in there, and he needed help, and he was like, hey, I need help. And I was like, help doing what?
Right.
Help in this restaurant. And honestly, Miss Honie Bee, I had the best time of my life that day working in the restaurant.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's how it all started. You were invited to come and help, and now you're the owner of Blu Diner.
Actually, yes. It
Okay.
switched around. Everything changed around. So I came in, I was working, everything was fine. I was doing it for fun. I wasn't doing it for pay or anything. Didn't even think about money or anything. I just was showing up because it was such a great day when I went the first time. I just kind of went back every day, and every day I was just doing something. So I always tell people, like, I didn't get a degree or I didn't get training or anything like that in the restaurant industry. I just actually just started working it, and I learned as I went along. I mean, trials and errors, but I learned as I went along in this business, and it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. Sometimes people think that they have to have a certain amount of training. They have to have grown up in a certain industry in order to actually be successful at it. But your testimony is that wasn't the case at all. You just fell in love with something that you were invited to just come and help with.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know how to cook?
Yes, I know how to cook very well, but let's roll back a little bit with that question. So in the beginning, no, I can cook, but not on the degree of cooking that I do now.
Okay.
So I was just doing small stuff. And when I got in there, honest to God, the Holy Spirit led me through every step of everything that I did in there. Promise you, no joke. It just led my thinking. It was like a massive amount of macaroni and cheese. I'm just like, I would never get this. And I would just be in there by myself. And it would just be like, here, put 10 eggs in there. And whatever I heard, I just did. Whatever popped up in my head, I was like, 10 eggs it is. Okay, put this much milk. It was, and I started writing it down.
Okay.
I started writing it down. I created recipe books as I went along. And honestly, that's just how I learned to cook on that magnitude of cooking that much food.
Do you think that your education, so you said that you came to Jacksonville to attend Edward Waters University now. What is your degree in?
My degree is in business, but I didn't graduate from Edward Waters. I graduated from Florida Technical College here in Jacksonville.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a business degree.
Absolutely.
Okay. So do you think that degree had any amount of effect on how you run your business now? Do you look at the courses, the classes, any of that, and just say, you know what, because I have my business degree, I am able to do this?
Okay, that's a good question, and I'm just gonna keep it real.
Keep it
for
real. That's what I
people.
want you to do.
Right. I don't like to get up and be like, oh yeah, I have this degree in this and
Right.
all this. Yes, I do have a degree in business, but at the same time, my hands-on experience took me way farther than a degree could ever take me. Just learning by trials and error, getting in there grinding, learning, getting audits, getting large bills that I had to take care of. I had to learn that. It was painful, but hey, it got me through, and I can definitely help somebody else with it instead of always the glam of everything that people like to portray. That's just not my story. I had to learn the hard way with a lot of things, but I thank God for it and I embrace it.
Okay, so your advice would be what to a SheEO, someone who is maybe they have a passion for something and they're not really sure, just like how you went into it. You're like, nah, I don't know about going into this cooking thing. But when you got there, it was something that just pulled on you, and now you're the owner of the same business. Do you have something that you can tell another SheEO to encourage her?
Absolutely, always. I mean, you have to follow your dream, follow your passion, follow what's in you to do. A lot of times we're so forced to just go with the glam or the norm of what we think people want to see, or, oh yeah, I want to be this boss, so because she drives a Mercedes, I need to go get a Mercedes. And like I said, that's not always your fit. That's not always your fit. Your fit may be something else. Your fit may be a Toyota for the time being.
Right.
Until you can get a Range Rover or Bentley or whatever your desire is. But so just follow what's in you to do, because I think that's when you strive the most. And a lot of times we get lost in what our passion is or what it is that we need, where we need to be at exactly, because we always want to follow what the world portrays to us. And I'm so different from all of that. I'm just like, no, girl, it was like this for me. I had to experience this, or I had to burn my finger and say, oh, this really is a burn and it hurts, instead of just covering everything up and present to the world like I'm this great person that has no problems and it just looks so good, and here I am driving this Mercedes. But what did it take for you to get there? That's what I like. Just start with your synthetic self. Just be real with everything that you is faced with, and I think that blessings always flow out of that.
You're so right, because you are a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank
and
you.
And people probably wouldn't think like you own a restaurant, like you're in the restaurant business, because people oftentimes look at women and think based on how they look, they should be doing this. And sometimes we look at ourselves and say, based on how I'm living and how I'm doing, I probably should be doing this. And it's really not what we want to do. It's what social media and outside things make us believe we should be doing, based on the way that we look, based on the things that we have. And it's not always about that. And I'm glad that you spoke to that, and about being your real, authentic you.
Right.
That is so important, because I know that I'm also in a food industry. I don't cook. Well, I do cook at home, but I bake. So I know that I get the stigma sometimes of, I know her cake can't be good because my grandma cooked like this, or my grandma bakes like this, or this my auntie. I get that a lot. So I know that for me, I don't know how it was for you, but in the beginning, I never showed who I was, because I knew people would not accept that. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't just say, "Oh yeah, she looked like she could bake a cake," because that's what people eat with their eyes. So they kind of just look at everything around and then decide if they want it. So did you go through any of that when you became the actual owner of the business? Did you feel any type of pushback just because of just because of who you are and how you look and what they see?
Well, I think that it does play a part in it. Even now when I tell people, but this grind, this hustle, this pulling this hair weave back and looking like Aunt Your Mammy, that is actually my grind. And then from that hustle and all of that transformation is the beautiful rose that blossoms. So you're going to go through some stuff and you're going to be pulled in different directions. I think when I first started working there, I'm telling you, it's like my family would come visit and they would be like, "Girl, you crackhead skinny now." I mean, that restaurant was beating that weight off of me. It was like, it would be good for some people, and some people, when they would see me, was like, child, let me get in here and work too, since she losing this weight like this. But it was hard. It was different. My body was shifting because of, it was a shift in my life, you know,
Right.
from sitting behind a desk to saying, okay, let me just go put this do-rag, high rag, whatever, tie your hair up, put these work shoes on and this little black outfit and just
Right.
go in and go hard. And that's just was my mentality. It was basically beast mode for me. And I was killing it, you know, and I still am, you
That's
know.
right.
At older age, because I'm like, I cannot believe I've been here all this long time, like doing the same thing. But I love it. I have a passion for it, you know. So I'm there,
All
you
right.
know.
So tell me a little bit about the restaurant business. I know that it's a food truck world right now.
Yeah.
Everything is on a food truck, from
Yeah.
tacos to tequila. Like everything is on
Right.
a food truck.
Absolutely.
Tell me about why you're sticking to an actual brick and mortar restaurant.
Well, when you say stick to,
Or
my mind leads to that as well, like having a food trailer as
Okay.
well. And I'm gonna just be totally upfront and real with you. I've never been really like super impressed with like food trucks at first, because I was like, oh, this is a lot of hard work, because I've done like outdoor ventures, and it was extremely overwhelming, you know, to create this restaurant outside for a venue. And so when the food trucks came out, everyone had them. They looked great. I was like, oh, cool. They have a food truck. This is nice, you know. I never was really moved by them. And I'm telling you, when the Dak Shack rolled out that food truck or that food trailer, it just changed my whole thought. I was like, oh my God, it's like I was a groupie when I saw their food trailer. I'm like, oh, now this is a food trailer truck, whatever. And it made me think differently, you know, like I could do this. I could see myself doing it. But I have been in the brick and mortar, and it is a lot. It's challenging. It gets slow sometimes, as with everything. And of course, you have the customers, which, oh Jesus, we're not gonna go there. But I'm just saying, like, you really have to just work hard in anything you do. So from a food trailer, from a food truck to a brick and mortar, it's just all the same grind to me. That's the way I view it.
Okay. So let's talk about the shift. You talked about how you shifted careers, essentially. So you were you had your own business doing something totally different, where you dressed up, you looked beautiful, you were doing your thing, going to the office, putting your key in the door, whatever it was, and then you went from that to tying your hair up to not wearing any fancy clothes. How was the shift? Because I think sometimes us as women, we have to understand that sometimes you do pivot. You do shift, you do change, you think this is what life is, and then you find out there's something else that is pulling you, and it may not look like what you used to have, but it's so fulfilling. Can you talk to us about that part?
Sure. So my shifting is still in shift mode at all times. I never let go of what I was doing, like sitting behind a desk looking cute and looking pretty. I never let it go. So
Okay.
it was with me way longer than the restaurant, and it's still with me now. And I added other things to that. And just hearing the shift, because I remember having a conversation many years ago with my friend Dee Dee Harper, and we were talking, and we used to actually make jokes about, like, if people was doing so much, they'll be putting out, oh, I do this, I do that, I do that. And we'd be like, oh, there got to be some bipolar stuff going on right there,
Right.
you know. And I get it now, you know, with the shifting of people's lives and women just trying to find a niche to find their place, you know, like, okay, well, where is my place? What's going to make me money? I'm trying to survive out here. So what is it? So they may switch from one thing to another. My switch wasn't on that. Okay, my personal shift wasn't on that.
Right.
I was content, you know, at my tax business. I was doing very well, still is, thank God. And I was doing that. I was content in that. I had a great clientele, you know, and that carried me through a lot. And I went out, I got an office. Even when I decided that I didn't decide to do taxes, I was doing notary stuff, actually just stepped away from the corporate world. And I was like, I'm just do my own thing. But as usual, you know, a strong black woman, you talk to many different women and you hear hey, I wouldn't do this if I was in business. And I just took all those nuggets and I just powdered them up and started building off of those things that I would hear from other powerful women to say stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I did hear her say working at home, she didn't get a lot done. So I went and got a small office,
Right.
and, you know, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. So I just learned from that. I didn't learn from taking a course saying, well, okay, you need to do A, B, C, and Z. I didn't learn like that. That's not my story. I just learned from just trials and errors, getting out here, trying to attempt to make something work. So in doing one thing, I met Michael Caesar, and he incorporated taxes for me. And I was like, I don't know nothing about no taxes. But he taught me, and he was amazing and still is amazing. And that was, oh, Lord, like 18 years ago. That's been a long time. So it's been in my life, like I said, always. I never let go of that. And then from there, I was doing, part of the business was loan signings. So I would go out and do loan signings. And I met Michael Knight. I went and did a loan signing for him, met him. We talked, and we always talked. And he would just start coming by my office and giving me these books for catering and stuff like that. And I'm like, child, I ain't doing no catering stuff. What is he giving this book for? But the crazy part about it is that I was still doing catering for, God rest her son, Tia Robinson. I was doing it for her because she had started a little business and it needed food there quite often whenever she did her events and stuff. And she would call me, so I was doing it out of my home. So I was like, well, I am doing catering. So, okay, but it's all hands-on. It's not going to read these books he's dropping off. It's just me doing it for her. And that day that I just stopped by because he kept saying, I have this restaurant. I stopped by, and I was on my way to Bible study actually that particular day, and just happened to have on some tennis shoes. I never really wear a whole lot of tennis shoes, but this day I had on tennis shoes and sweatpants. Ironic, but I did, and I stopped in, and he was just swamped. And I just seen, like, okay, all these people are, like, in line, like, ching, ching. That's when the bell went off for me, you know? So the bell went off, and I started helping him. And like I said, it was, like, one of the best days ever. I just had such a great time. I just started coming back for free. And he would be like, you coming by today? And I would be like, yeah, I'm coming by today. And then he started giving me access to the business side of it, like paperwork and stuff. And I'm like, well, everything is in red. Like, everything got like a red stamp on it. And I started just cleaning all that up. Just not because I read a book. I just started doing it from intuition, just started cleaning all that up. And so I was back and forth. So that was me shifting back and forth. No idea, honestly, no idea, like owning a restaurant or anything. And he said, well, hey, you want to invest in this business? Which I wasn't the only person, you know, that he had asked. He had asked a whole lot of other people. And they had attempted to do it. And I took whatever, I don't even know, I think 10,000 or something like that, if I remember correctly. And I had given it to him, like, okay, well, this is what I have to contribute, you know. And he said, okay, I'm going to put this in the business. And I just started coming more. I started changing things around, changing the environment of the restaurant, putting paint on the wall, just stuff just because, like I said, that was in me. Not because I just knew how to run this business or anything. And I knew how to run this business, but I'm saying as far as just going to school and saying, well, okay, let's go ahead and just get this business from ground up. Let's find a building. It wasn't like that. I just was blessed to go into his business and just start doing all this stuff that he allowed me the opportunity to just kind of flex a little bit. And that's what I started doing. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I don't really care too much for this man. He getting on my nerves. This is reality. And I'm like, I want my money back. That's reality, you know? And he was like, well, I had to pay these taxes and I don't have it. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So he was like, well, just consider yourself purchased a restaurant. I'm out. I was like, no, he didn't. And that's when I had to just go hard. I went harder and hard, and I went. I mean, I'm serious. I was up. I was trying to just make it work. So I would be up I would get to that restaurant like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would not leave there probably about 10 o'clock at night. Like literally like working, trying to get everything together. And that was just my thing, you know. And then you shift from that to, okay, now when you're doing okay and a little money is coming in, and then that's when I was saying with all the businesses, when you see other people get, and then I started slingshot rentals. Hey, let's do that.
Oh,
You
I
know.
know about that.
Yeah, right. You know. So then I just added on, but I didn't get too crazy and too outlandish where it was going to be totally overwhelming, because we have to definitely have our health in check. And you don't
Correct.
want to just be doing all of this stuff and you're failing with your health.
You're right.
Yeah.
How did you manage your work life and your family life? Like how did that go? Or I don't know if you have a family. I don't know what type of dynamic you have. But if you're saying that you work so many hours, how did that affect your personal life?
Right. So at the time, I did not have a husband or a boyfriend or anything like that. I did have like boyfriends at the time, but nothing too serious. And I had a daughter, but she was old enough to like kind of carry her own.
Yeah.
You know, she could have been in high school, college. I can't remember, but she was, up in age where she can handle herself.
Right.
And then I had a really, really good friend that passed away as well, that really helped me a lot, with my daughter. So it was always where she was taken care of.
Okay.
And I had like a little simple life. It was nothing. And my family isn't here, my family, because I'm from down south.
Right.
So everybody was there. And then
Wow.
eventually when my mom was like, okay, when she came, like, my daughter is really working hard and I got to be here with my daughter. So my mom came and she joined me. Yeah. So I have my mom and my daughter here. And I have another family that kind of migrated here as well, but they're just a small family that came here, and they helped in the beginning when they first came as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. That is good to know.
Yeah.
I know you as a giver. Can you talk about how important it is to you to be able to give back to other businesses and other business women? Because I know that you do it because you've done it to me.
You're amazing. All that goes, the credit is to God. He is the one that molds my mind to say, hey, this is the move that you need to make. It's absolutely not about Leola. Leola would be like, I'd rather go on a vacation. But when I tell you that the Holy Spirit really works me to the point of like, this is what you're going to do even when I don't want to do it, it's just the way it is. It tells me the amount that you're going to give. It tells me what I'm going to do, how you're going to do it. And I love it. I wouldn't trade that part of my life. Some people, it may sound like, what is she talking about? But actually, that's for me, that
Right.
he carries me and, just guides my every step in giving. And I love to give because he actually provides everything that I give. I have events and people go, girl, you need me to bring stuff. And I'm like, oh, never,
Right.
because everything is already lined out, the amount of money I need. And when people say budget, I don't know, because it's God's money that he gives me to just say, here, I want you to do this. So here's everything that you need. So that's how I deal with my community.
Yes, I know that you're a giver. I've seen you give to the community, where people can come in for free and get a dinner or get whatever it is that you're offering. They can just come in for free, and that's unheard of sometimes because everybody's about $1. Like it is, business is about making money. We know that, but being able to be seen in the community as a giver, as someone who doesn't find it robbery to help those who may need help. And even the ones who may not need help, but you just want to help anyway, to just show support.
Yeah.
That is such that's an amazing act, and you're such a jewel in the community on the north side. My
you.
business is also on the north side, and
Right.
you come and bless me as well. And when you have things that I saw, I try to patronize your business
Thank
as
you.
well. I've eaten at the Blu Diner as
Yes,
well.
you have.
My family has eaten at the Blu Diner as well. My coworkers.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to just thank you so much. And is there anything that you want to say about Blu Diner? Do you want to let people know where you're located and all of that, so that we can still continue to patronize Blu Diner, because it has been in the community? How many years has Blu Diner been there?
I would love to know that exact number. I mean, because customers literally come in and they tell me about El Shaddai, that it was before it was Blu Diner,
Yeah, I
because the
remember that.
Walters own the Blu Diner. And shout out to the Walters family, because they always come in and give me some history, and tell me things. And I'm just blown away by it, because I did not change the name of the Blu Diner. I
Right.
kept it as a Blu Diner. And at first, I think because Michael, like I said, Michael Knight actually had the Blu Diner. He worked the deal with the Walters or Miss Walters in the beginning. So they had their thing. I didn't know much about that. So I don't know whatever their thing was between Michael Knight and Miss Walters. But Miss Walters, when I met her, we had our own thing. We broke whatever he was supposed to have for her, and I fulfilled my obligation with Miss Walters. Okay, so that was our thing. And then I was away, I think, because she would always come up there and share a lot of nuggets and give me stuff. Like, even like she was like, on slow days, what you can do is do the dressing, like, don't do it just on Sundays, do it on a Thursday is a slow day for you, bring in Thursday. She was that type of person to always just share with you and give you what you needed in the business. So we had a personal relationship, so I never knew like her whole entire family, so when they would come in, I think that just not knowing, a lot of times when you have family members and they just assume like, oh, well, this was my grandma's restaurant, or this was my uncle's restaurant, or whoever, they tend to not really know, and they would kind of come and be a little aggressive a little bit. And then I was just like, hey, look, your grandma and I are good, so what's your beef? And they would think about that and be like, you know what, that's true. So they just became like loving people. Like when they came in, like I had one of her family members came and gave me like history. She brought me pictures. I mean, that was like the best. Like, I love that moment because I got to learn a little more about what I was walking in, because I would tell people, oh, I'm walking in someone else's blessing. And a lady came in one day, a customer, and she was like, no, you walking in your own blessing. I was like, okay, but the Walters did start it, and I give them all the credit because I hear some phenomenal stories about when they had the Blu Diner, so it's always been a blessing to me, and I always want to thank my community because they have been behind me a lot. I get good, bad, as you know, and I fight for that, and I stand up for myself because I'm not going to let someone just come in and just tear down, because I know how hard I work. So, and with our people, we're very shifty. We'll go from one thing to the other. If Brenda over here that's doing good, that's a social media person that's slam dunking it, say, well, I went to the Blu Diner today, then everybody going to come to the Blu Diner today. And then if you got Jimbo over here, it's like, I just went up there and I hate them people and the food was horrible. And then you're going to get your people go, I hate them too. You know what I mean? So I'm just not that chick. You know what I mean? I'm going to be down for whatever. They come in and they'll be like, oh, we love the Blu Diner, because we don't like, this soul food place over here. And I go, they're my family members. I love them too, So I never jump on that bandwagon because I'm always going to be down for my people and supporting our businesses because that's what we need. We absolutely need that.
You're right. Well, I just want to thank you so much for being in the community, sticking it out, bringing quality food, quality programs and events that you do. Thank you so much for not taking it, away from the community that it started in. That is very important because everybody knows about Gateway. All of us know about Gateway, the history of Gateway, and you're still there and you're still in business and you're still thriving. And we just want to take our hats off to you and just let you know that we are very appreciative to still have good food on the north side.
Thank you. That means the world to me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You don't get that a whole lot. So really, I embrace that with all of me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I mean it from my heart.
Thank you.
This segment of SheEO is brought to you by Honie Bees. And it's just like a quick round. So it's just like girl talk. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
And I want you to just say what you think right off. Don't say too much. Just kind of, just answer.
Okay.
All right. So if you could choose, would you choose soul food or would you choose seafood?
Seafood.
Yeah, me too. Okay. If you could choose a rainy day or bright sunshine, what would you choose?
I love the rain.
Oh, wow. Yeah. A lot of people say rain or sunshine just because it's sunshine, but I like rainy days too. I think because I'm born in October and that's kind of like the rainy time and storm time. All right. So if you could choose long nails or short no nails, which would you choose?
Long nails all day. Long nails all day.
Okay. So last question. If you could choose city life or country life, which would you choose?
I would have to say city life. I never really did country life.
City life?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a city girl. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Leola. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your story, being transparent, and also encouraging other SheEOs.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on SheEO Elevate and Execute. I'll see you next time.
She is CEO. Yeah. Talk sweet, but she